All right, yeah. Going forward, we're gonna keep the lights on. This is nice. The lights are bright. They're too bright. Actually, this is part of my problem with content creation because you're always staring at these bright lights. You have to if you want the quality of your cameras to be better. Sometimes you have them off to the side, but it's still coming at you. And everybody does it. But it's hard for me to think that there's not gonna be any long-term damage to your eyes after this. This isn't I if I look away, I'm seeing rings. I'm gonna try to draw it out in the screen for y'all. But I look away for a second, I see rings. I go to sleep tonight, I'm gonna wake up, I'll see these rings again. But I'll worry about all that later. Right now it's about making these videos. Today I saw that IronMouse was going viral recently for her interaction with Rakai and Ray at the Streamer Awards. Even to say that right now, I'm like, that's a sentence I never thought I would actually recite in front of a camera. A lot of y'all forget that I am of this internet age too. For me, watching these Twitch streamers and what Twitch is now has been amazing. It's been a fascination of mine. Like when I was growing up, the biggest thing that came out of Twitch was Twitch plays Pokemon. That was the biggest thing that came out. That was everything. And I didn't think Twitch would be anything more than just people gaming, but now you see live streaming has expanded so much. And the front runners of it created a generation. Like they created a whole wave, and it's always dope to see that, be able to witness that and appreciate that in the moment. Because whether or not you do now, you will later. And me personally, I like to say that I've witnessed this firsthand. I've seen this. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't understand everything, right? So Rakai and Ray and Kai and all their content, they be blowing up houses. Sometimes that goes over my head. But for the most part, it's hard for me to root against kids trying to make their dream happen and changing their families' lives. I'm always gonna root for that. Now, the first thing I saw was Iron Mouse's response video. Somebody clipped a section of her stream where she was going when she was talking about the incident, and so I caught the reaction first, and I was like, "Yo, what do these guys do?" You know, because I know they be blowing up the houses. They do all these. They're yelling and screaming in the house. They saying things, they're getting reactions. So I'm wondering, like, did they do something to her to try to get a reaction out to use her as the butt of a clip? That's lame to make somebody the butt of your jokes for views at an award ceremony. Like that's just hold yourself up to a better standard. But then I watched the actual video and I did not get any of what she was saying. In fact, I thought they were pretty respectful and starstruck. Let me play the clip and y'all let me know. All right, I think this is easier to do so we can break this down piece by piece, because when I rewatched the video, it gave me an ick because I realized that pattern of behavior, or like what happened, and it's one of the worst traits I've ever seen in people. Not saying that she's like this, but I just think it's something to point out, just in case if you think in the same way, don't do that. Stop doing it. Stop, like, yuck. And what I mean is somebody who removes agency from a situation after the fact. And I'll explain more as we go along and point it out, but that is essentially what it comes down to.
I also saw a tweet about me talking to Rakai and Ray. And a lot of people were saying that I'm basically trying to appeal to people, appease people, fit in with people.
All right, right off the bat, her reaction is based off the reaction of her fans or people who watch the video that are of some influence to her.
That I'm trying to, I'm bending over backwards for people, which that is so untrue. You have no idea. You have no idea what I went through in that moment. So let me explain to you. And I'm here with Rob, and we're walking, getting ready to go to our seats, and I get rushed by Rakai and Ray.
All right, let's talk about that for a moment. I'm not used to. Well, I'm not familiar with VTubers. So Iron Mouse is like literally the only VTuber that I know of. There was a guy who used to make YouTube videos. I'm gonna try to see if I can find him. There's like Knock something, and he used to have like a character that he would have on his like anime review videos. That's the closest that That's the closest that I've seen, and that was a while ago. I don't know if he's still active, but I imagine that part of you or embodies the character a bit. Not just judging by the decorations, and like the or maybe like the voice that she puts on and things like that. But if you notice that she said we were walking, she speaks as if she's physically there while being there virtually. So for me, it seems like she's very much an understanding of the IronMouse character. So now I'm thinking, is this like just deep in the cosplay, or is this a genuine feeling? Because I don't know what her general content is. I don't know if she's supposed to keep a certain image. The group of people that made it important enough for her to make this sort of video, do they look down on those group of content creators? I don't know. So far, it's looking a little elitist to me personally. But we'll keep this rocking.
I will tell you 100%, I was very uncomfortable to the point where I was shaking because I already knew that I was going to get asked something terrible. I knew that they were going to say something rude to me. Because I just know. I know it. Because I'm used to it. Because I already know what people think, and I already know how people treat VTubers. When a person asks me a stupid question, I give them a stupid answer. That's what I have to say. They asked me what I look like, so I gave them the dumbest answer that I could give them. I was incredibly uncomfortable. I wanted to get out of there. I did not want to talk to them because I knew they were going to ask me very invasive questions. They asked me the dumbest question, so I gave them the dumbest answer. And I was trying to be cordial. I was trying to be nice. It wasn't me trying to appease anybody. It was just me answering in a stupid fashion to get them to leave me alone.
Now, after that part there, I'm no longer thinking about the elitist thing. I figured it out at this point. And what it is here is that everybody was reacting to this part of the video.
Neymar, I don't feel me.
Yeah,
Neymar,
no questions out of you today.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
No questions out of you.
yeah.
First off, look at Agent like holding off, trying to, and I respected that. You can see that these guys are really trying to. They're starstruck. They're trying to be on their best behavior because they're seeing somebody that they idolize.
Anything you want.
Okay, babe.
Okay, I got a question.
How you look in real life?
Whoa. That is
I look in
everything?
real life?
Yeah.
Stop.
Oh, ugly. That's why I'm a VTuber, duh.
Ah, you're right.
I got a
So that's the part right there. That's the part where they were reacting and saying that, oh, that she was bending over trying to get them to like her by her self-deprecating herself. And this is where I'm like, IronMouse, that you can't do this. You can't be this kind of person who won't even understand the environment that was created because of something that they did. I'm not taking away from you feeling like, oh, that's a knee-jerk answer to give because you think that's gonna shut them up or leave you alone. You jumped ahead and tried to guess what they were thinking that you were going to say, and tried to say it anyways for them. Like, I'm all too familiar with self-destruction. Like I've been doing comedy now for 2 years. All right, I've self-destructed on stage before. You know, I've said things where I'm like, oh, like I don't really feel this way about me, but I think, you know, it's what they want to hear. And I've seen people do the same thing, and it's just like it's like a cringe moment when that happens. But then I realize it's like people don't know what you think, especially you, who nobody knows how you look. Nobody knows, outside of your stream fans know you that well. They just know you as number one, or they just know you as IronMouse. People know IronMouse. Every interaction is just you portraying yourself. So going in and automatically assuming that people want the worst for you, that could hail from different things. You know, not everybody is a social person. I 100% understand that. And people joke about this. They're like, well, turn the screen off. Yeah, whatever. That's one thing too. But you saying ask me anything, first off, right? You did not want to be asked anything, but you told them ask me anything. thinking that you were setting up for ultimately the reaction that you assume them to have. That's all a series of self-sabotage. My entire point with this video is that IronMouse created these conditions. He invited them to ask any question. They asked a question. She may have not liked the question in the moment, but she decided to answer it in the way that she did. But the way that she responded left the option of only being disappointed by what they would say. Because what could you say after that? The worst thing that they could have done was probably laugh at it, thinking that she was saying a joke, and this would be a different scenario. The best case scenario was that they were like, "Oh no, you're not ugly, I bet you're not ugly, IronMouse." But like, what is that? What's that type of reaction? Nobody wants that type of reaction. So you gave an answer that would only give you a reaction that you wouldn't like. And my point with that is now back to you, everybody. You have agency in what you say. Watch your words. Pay attention closely to the words that you say. It's not your job to predict what somebody else will say. It's not your job to expect them to act a certain way. Present yourself in good faith. If you're somebody who's done no wrong to a person, there's no reason for you to expect the worst out of them just right off the bat. Let them give you a reason in person. Let them do that. If they are somebody who would act nasty and be insulting, then they will. And then you'll see that firsthand. But it's not your job to assume what they're going to think. In the words of my friends at the Circle Club, just be you. That's all you can do. Just be you. The flip side of this situation is everybody knows this type of person. Somebody who got a smart mouth and they tell you about a situation and how a situation went left, but you already know that they must have said something to escalate or turn it into something that it shouldn't have been. In the same way, you're not a punk for trying to de-escalate or not hyping the situation up, is the same way that you're not wrong for presenting yourself authentically or presenting your feelings authentically. In that moment, if you were to say, I really don't want to talk right now, but it was nice to meet you, you could be cordial like that. Or even if you just speak plain, or even if you speak plainly and say, I don't want to talk right now. You don't even acknowledge a hi. Rude, whatever. That's rude. People will think that's rude. Whatever. At least you walk away knowing that you just didn't want to have the interaction. Then a video like this would make a little bit more sense, because it's like, all right, whoa, y'all don't know IronMouse. She's anxious. She don't like to be run up on like that. At least we can say that. But this right here is a type of trait that I'm very disgusted by. It's the reason why a lot of people are like stuck in certain situations they don't have to be in, or stuck getting the same reactions to interviews or friendships or bonds. And it's all because of taking yourself away from a situation and letting the thought of others dictate the way that you react and the way that you move. That's no way to live your life. So that's the end of my video, y'all. I know I went on a little rant, but if you're feeling me, drop a comment and let me know your thoughts on the situation. Am I overanalyzing it? Because mind you, this is a 2-minute clip of maybe a longer segment that she might have had. So maybe she did go into some of the things that I was talking about, or maybe with the full context, what I'm talking about doesn't make sense. But y'all can let me know any of that in the comments. I'm accepting all feedback. I don't mind it at all. Subscribe if you really like this content, and send me some videos if you want me to react to something or would like my opinion, something that's trending. Peace out, y'all.